Yeah, why don't you move over rather than me aiming it funny?
We're live, huh?
Yeah, grab your mic.
Oh.
You got your mic.
Do we both have a mic?
We both have a
or
mic.
Are we going to echo in the mics?
Oh, we shouldn't echo, but if
Okay.
we do, someone will tell us.
Well, a warm welcome to you all. It's Friday Carnivore Conversations with JJ and Eric.
Stupid.
I'm almost in this picture too. Getting closer. Yeah, welcome. We are doing this without any warning, without our official camera, without our official microphones. We're kind of doing it on the fly.
Yes, right on the MacBook without any extra software. And we're holding our mics. She's got hers clipped on. My shirt's too thin to clip it to. Hi, Deb from Oklahoma. You're at Keto Paloa. Where's that
that's
at?
right. That's happening this weekend.
I don't know anything about it.
It is only the best, from what I hear, it's the best conference. Like if you're going to go to a conference, this is the one to go to.
Well, why aren't we there?
Because we don't make plans ahead of time.
It's Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Or Louisville.
Yeah.
I think is how it's pronounced.
I think that's why it's Louisa. Like that's in the name.
Oh, Louisiana? No, Louisville. No, it's just everything's a Louisa. It's like Lollapalooza.
Well, that too, but yeah. Yeah. So, wow, excellent.
Well, we're having our own Carnivore Palooza right here, right now. And you're welcome. Did you do the warm welcome?
I did do the warm. Oh, I'm JJ. I'm a life coach. I eat mostly meat. I think I did the warm welcome, but I think if you're here, you probably know us by now.
I'm Eric. I'm a novelist, and I am mostly carnivore.
Yes.
I feel like we got to get this aimed a little bit better.
Keto Palooza is inexpensive. Interesting. I heard it's a really great time. I heard it's a wonderful time. Maybe next year. Maybe.
Of course, that would involve planning ahead, which is my least powerful strength, also known as a weakness. But I like to frame it as something positive. My smallest strength is planning ahead.
Yeah. Well, Carrie Mann is having his event this weekend too, I believe.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Somewhere in Wisconsin.
Yes. I just blanked on it.
M.
Monticello.
That's it.
Yes.
That's where Thomas Jefferson's house is called Monticello. But
or Montello. It's Montello.
That's right. That's totally different. But Monticello or Monticello, whichever it is in what, Virginia?
Yeah, Montello.
But that's not where Carrie is.
Yeah, we were maybe going to go to that, but then we didn't.
Well, there was a lot up in the air when we need to be making decisions to get tickets.
That's true.
But I would love when there's a lot in the air, plans just don't. Thank you about the house, Deb. Thank you. Weeks now, maybe.
Yeah, I think it is.
And we are and moving in, and there's still boxes kind of strewn about, and that will continue, I think, forever. Is my guess.
Possibly forever.
So JJ has a whole stack of meat next to her.
Yes. So I thought I would do a little bit of what is in the refrigerator this week type thing. What are we eating this week?
I'm hungry, so I'm ready to see this.
I know. And so we went to a farmer's market locally a couple weeks ago, last week, and had amazing steaks. We bought some steaks and some chicken wings.
The chicken wings weren't that great.
They were fine. They're chicken, but I wanted to try it in our new Typher air fryer. So they were so good, we had to go back and get some more. And I love that it's direct to farmer. Extremely expensive, though. I mean, it's expensive. And so I wanted to show how we're sort of trying to balance some of that expense, but also ask you, how do you budget for your carnivore lifestyle? Do you keep it simple, keep it cheap? Do you add in some extra expensive cuts and try to balance it out other ways? That's kind of what we do. Or do you, like, are you grass finished? Like, I'm paying for my health and it's an investment I'm willing to make. So where are you on that spectrum? In the meantime, I will show you. I don't think this farm probably ships out of the state. I'm guessing they're not USDA, but this is the place that we really enjoyed their meat. That's here in Wisconsin. So we have, it's called Modern Frontier Farms. So we've got some strip steaks from them. Although this is like a meal for you. And this is 2 strip steaks. So we have that, which I'm looking forward to. It's still a little frozen, so we're not having that today. And we also have a chuck roast from the same place. And I haven't told you this yet. You're hearing it now.
Okay.
You won't like it. I'm going to make chili with the chuck roast, but it's going to be Texas style chili. So, I mean, I'm not using any beans or anything, but it will have tomato and lots of spices in it. So
That's not carnivore at all.
it's ketovore. Yeah, it's ketovore. But I'm really dying for some chuck chili. Going to be having that. And then here's where we're balancing things. We've got the Walmart strip steaks. Nothing too exciting there, but not on special this week.
That needs to get out of the packaging. Too sweet.
It does. I just removed the steaks. Those are coming to room temperature right now. And we went to Costco this week.
Yes, we did.
It's been ages since we've been to Costco. We needed to buy some shelving for the new place for storage.
The new house is closer to a Costco, so that's nice.
It is. But your mission while we were there.
Yes, because of you guys, we needed to try lamb chops. And, well, try lamb, period.
Mm-hmm.
And so people kept mentioning Costco lamb, so we got the Costco lamb.
Yep.
And now JJ's got to make it. I mean, I could try to make it.
I think I'll take that.
But I'm trepidatious. Like, I want to try it, but I'm afraid it's going to be horrible.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Maybe it'll be delicious.
But hey, look at this. This was $6 a pound. That's not bad. So that's awesome. Whoa. I hit the screen with the lamb. And then I got some tenderloin from Costco as well. Again, sort of balancing out our very premium, delicious meat.
Deb buys locally grass that's finished and grass that's finished. Beef that's grass finished and pretty reasonable. Then watch for sales. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
T-bone's half price. We stock up.
Three freezers I am jealous of, and our freezer is not at this house yet. So
no, but I did look at it yesterday, and I said this needs to move, and then I opened it, and I said this needs to be emptied.
Well, it's been cleaned out pretty well. Most of what's in there is.
We could move it with the stuff in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could get a little jumbled up.
There's there's some items we could probably get rid of, but most of it's just meat. Like, it's just meat.
I'm already over moving, and we haven't moved probably even 30%.
That is true. But I think we're going to get to the point where it's like, we don't need it, just chuck it.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff there will be just get rid of it.
I think so. A lot of it needs to be sold, and I don't want to do that either.
Yeah.
But it has to happen.
Yeah.
So we'll figure something out. But we mentioned in our last video that almost nobody saw that we went to a local barbecue place called Mission Barbecue. And it's a chain of some sort, but I don't know how widespread it is. And it was amazing. Mm-hmm. Very good destination for carnivores, although they will try to carb you up. You got to watch that because of the sides and stuff. But we had their ribeye, mm-hmm. which was smoked or something.
Smoked and seared.
And pulled pork and brisket. And it was really good. Mm-hmm. And not only was the food really good, the service was A++. plus,
It was amazing.
maybe even 3 pluses.
Yeah. Yeah. The service was awesome. So
I've never experienced that at a chain restaurant, like not actually at any restaurant has the service been that friendly or that good. So I recommend it. Where was the place you went in Indiana?
I can't remember the name of it these days. So
I
don't
guess
know.
we won't go to that.
But it's
place.
another chain. It was okay. It was a little more delicious. Like Mission was really good. This other place that the name I cannot remember was like amazing. But it's about 50 minutes from here is the closest one. So it's not as close.
That's not as convenient.
No, but we'll have to go there sometime. And we have to go down into Illinois to get there, which
It's a hassle.
is a bit of a hassle because the traffic gets worse as you go south.
So I have a question for the viewers. How is our audio? I'm holding a microphone in my hand and she's wearing one, but I can't tell whether the signal's any good or not. So if you're like, their mouths are moving, but I can't hear them, let us know and I'll try to sort it out. Because we've had issues with that in the past when we weren't using our fancy podcasting mics. We both just finished this morning watching the Means siblings on Rogan.
Yeah.
That we'd seen them on Tucker. They made quite a few waves. Cali and Casey Means, and it was great. And I would say that it's probably the first episode of Joe Rogan I've ever heard where he hardly talks at all. He just lets them go and they just talk about how the medical system is corrupted and also how the food supply is poison. Which I'm here for it because I already believe it, but it's a message that needs to get out. And they're very articulate and very good at communicating that.
Yes. And I think the message is getting out. I don't know. I think the message is getting out. Again, I don't know what type of impact that's going to have yet. Just this week, I've learned that 2 people in my life have been working on shifting their diets. And so that's pretty significant. And I don't think it's because of me totally. I mean, I think I've helped a little bit, but I think it's because it's in the conversation right now.
Yeah, it's in the national conversation. And it needs to be more so because we're basically being slowly poisoned by dead food. But it's really worth a listen. And it does get political, but you can just kind of go la 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 through that part if you don't like what they're saying. Because what they really are calling for is some bipartisanship to try to solve these problems. And one of the big surprise moments was which is which?
Callie's the man.
Callie's the brother.
Yeah.
So they were talking about how doctors can write prescriptions for exercise, and you can use HSA funds to pay for that filling of that prescription, which means you could use HSA funds to pay for a gym membership, for instance. I don't know if you can use it to buy home gym equipment or not. That might not be allowed, but I didn't know that. And it's Casey's actually has a company that writes these letters. Cali writes these letters so that doctors can actually issue these prescriptions. I thought it was really amazing. And but he was saying that the pharmaceutical companies really have been trying to get that to not be allowed so that you can only prescribe things that are basically a molecule, which doesn't make any sense. Although when they were talking about how little nutrition education doctors get in their training, part of me was like, well, maybe that's good.
Oh, yeah.
Because what is the nutrition training they would get?
Yeah.
It would be low fat, high fiber, lots of veggies, and no meat. So that doesn't help anybody.
No.
That's the wrong message.
No.
So anyway, that's worth a listen.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Nick Norowitz is doing another experiment on himself that I saw him post on X. He's eaten 1 billion pounds of bacon. He just got done eating 400 trillion eggs. Now, these numbers aren't exact. But he's doing these experiments constantly to show that his lipid energy model of cholesterol can be predictive of what happens when he eats in this particular way. And then he gets the LDL numbers that he expects because it comports with the lipid energy model better than the, I guess the lipid is a atherosclerotic cause of heart disease model. The lipid hypothesis, I think, is what they call that. So definitely worth going on X. I'm sure he's got a YouTube video about it to check out what antics he's up to now.
Well, and Georgia Eid, new interview with Judy Cho.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yep.
That didn't come across my
Holy
dashboard.
cow. I'm not through it all because I like to listen. Certain things I watch on YouTube, other things I leave for podcasts in the car, and that's a podcast in the car. But in the first 5 minutes, she speaks so clearly. You can tell that even since she's been doing her rounds, since her book was published earlier this year, she's gotten even clearer with her messaging. And so that first 5 minutes, holy cow, it's just very clear and concise how oxidative stress and inflammation impacts the brain and how it's tied to food, and just awesome. So I'll be saving that and sending it to people who need it.
I need it. I always need a reminder. I will always watch Dr. Georgia Eid, who we mention every single episode.
Yes, we do. I searched on Georgia Eid the other day, and our video came up.
Oh, hey, that's good.
How much we talk about Georgia Eid. But I think, you and I have just suffered from mental health issues and had people in our lives suffering from mental health issues. So that's been such a remarkable benefit of the diet for me, especially. I'm just like, holy cow, I can't believe the difference.
Yeah. I took the dog out for what we call a paw patrol. Other people just say it's walking the dog. He's not on a leash, so he's much happier and I'm much happier. And as I was walking along, I was thinking about how I used to eat, because I was listening to the podcast with Joe Rogan. And I was thinking about how I used to eat in order to be healthy. And I went from every morning having chocolate Pop-Tarts to making this really tough decision to start having a whole grain bagel instead of my Pop-Tart. And I would have a whole grain bagel. And I really felt like, okay, I've gotten that sugar monkey off my back and I'm doing something that's really good for me. And then I would go to work and I would proceed to slowly get sleepier and sleepier as the morning went on. I became famous that in meetings, they would stop the morning meeting. They're like, Eric's going to die if he doesn't get some lunch, because I would be pale and so droopy. And then we would go out to eat very frequently, and I would get, rice with cooked in lots of good oils. And all of it was not even food from the perspective of the human animal and human evolution. And it was so obvious. I was walking along, watching the dog do what the dog does, which is whatever the dog's instincts tell it to do. And going, it is so obvious now from this perspective that the steak that I'm craving right at this very moment is what my whole system is designed to consume and run off of. And I was always trying to find the prepackaged thing to make my life easier. I was trying to find the science food. And I actually thought of it. I didn't use that phrase, but it's what I was thinking. I need the perfect science food to feed myself so that I can have optimal health.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, you can't out science what nature desired for us from the start. It's beside the point. It's totally it's a fool's errand. And when I started eating carnivore and gave my body all the nutrition that it wanted, so many things just righted themselves.
Mhm.
And it's so obvious. It's crazy that it's controversial. It's insane that it's controversial.
Well, down in the basement pantry
Mm-hmm.
is where we had a whole bunch of those old that you'd bought and I'd bought different
Science foods.
like different types of shakes and drink mixes and
Yeah.
all sorts of things that I've cleared out in the past year or
Bars,
so. Yeah.
protein bars.
Yeah. So many things that we bought into and bought.
And I remember, I mean, it's not new that someone says, if you can't pronounce the ingredient, then you shouldn't probably eat it. But I remember going, yeah, that's such a naive perspective. Just because you can't pronounce it, I mean, that's not what, that shouldn't help you or hinder you in making a decision. Because I really believed that, well, if it's harmful, there's no way it would get past the FDA.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it's been fairly recent history that a lot of people have begun to see things a little differently.
And having been in a business where we sold to pharmaceutical companies and
Yeah.
had interacted with certain aspects of them, I was like completely sold. I was like, it's going to solve everything. You won't have to. You'll be able to eat basically whatever chocolate thing you want, and you'll be in perfect health if the science can figure out how to formulate it. And I was really locked into that
Mhm.
point of view. And now I'm kind of thinking you should just grow it on the hoof, on grass, and then eat that. I'd cook it.
Well,
personally first.
Yeah, we do cook our meat. But you think back to even Jetsons, right? You've got the little,
Yeah, they're little ships.
the little food pill and
I
stuff.
don't remember the Jetsons
Yeah.
that well
Mhm.
because I was more of a Flintstones guy. And come on, everybody really was more of a Flintstones.
I liked them both.
But you like the Flintstones better.
Yeah, the Flintstones was on more.
That's
So.
because
All right, I like the Flintstones better because it was kind of like, Jackie Gleason.
the Honeymooners, but
Yeah.
it was also just better. Although Mr. Spacely,
Yeah.
he was
Oh yeah.
he was the evil
He was
boss,
that
right?
guy. There was an actor that he was
Based on?
I think so. Mr. Mooney and there was
I
like
don't remember.
yeah.
Because actually most of the stuff we watched growing up referred to pop culture stuff that we hadn't grown up with.
That's true.
In my high school, being Gen X, I'm 53, I'll be 54 next month.
Oh.
Yeah. And the high school I went to in a very small town, population under 3,000, there were entire hallways of lockers that were empty and unused because the baby boom had come in. They built the school for them.
Yep.
And then Gen X were like these kind of pale ghosts that wandered in from school from a home with no parents in it. And then we floated and drifted back into a home with no parents in it. And in between, we had teachers who were almost retired. And it was kind of great.
Oh my goodness.
Hello, Natalie. And hello, Curtis.
And
Deborah.
hello, Deborah. From
Vancouver, Washington. That always confuses me because there's Vancouver, Canada, and they're the same, right? Are they right next to each other, just divided by a border? How does that work? Do you have like the Vancouver War where you throw snowballs over the border at each other? We are using YouTube's streaming software. So
yes.
Unfortunately, we have no ability to pop your chat onto the screen.
It was a low barrier today.
Yeah. No, Vancouver is north of Portland, Oregon. So it's way south of the border.
Oh.
Well, that's even more confusing. Seattle's way up there, right?
Fairly up there.
I'm sure there's a story. I don't know what it is. What was I saying?
I think we were done with being Gen X.
Yeah. Oh, so way back when I was first hearing about the Atkins diet, I was hearing about the doctor's Eids, Eades,
Mhm.
Michael Eids, and Mary, I want to say. And they had a book out about basically eating super low carb. I don't remember if it was, I don't think it was fully carnivore. Well, he has a weekly, I want to say it's a Substack newsletter called The Arrow. And I highly recommend subscribing to it. You don't have to do the paid version because I think it's the same content either way. And he kind of goes through the news that is both carnivore and keto related. And he reviewed a podcast that was a vegetarian or vegan doctor and kind of pointed out how many of the studies that were cited in favor of veganism were not accurately represented. And that was quite interesting. And there was an argument made that ancient humans ate lots of vegetables. But Dr. Eids knew the study. And so he shows does anybody remember Paul Harvey?
Oh.
He showed the rest of the story. And what it was, this population in Northern Africa ate and subsisted on acorns. This was 15,000 years ago. And this is what was cited, that ancient humans lived on plants. And then he goes and shows that the skulls that they found showed that these individuals had terrible cavities and bad teeth health. Whereas if you go into the populations older, who were basically carnivores, you find the skulls with the teeth intact because they didn't get cavities, because they didn't eat the carbs. And it's very typical. But then he pointed out that the scientific evidence for humans being carnivores is based upon this stable isotope analysis, where there's a form of carbon that concentrates in the bone. And so they can look at it and say, well, if an animal, basically herbivores concentrate carbon by eating the grass, and then when a carnivore eats the herbivore, it eats that concentrated carbon and gets it into its bones. And so you can see that the carnivores are eating meat because they're having such a high content of this particular isotope of carbon in their bones. Well, ancient humans have an even higher level, which they understand means that not only did the ancient humans eat herbivores, they also ate carnivores, which makes them hypercarnivores. Now, I'm not advocating that you start eating your cats or lions or bears. And although I understand berries are pretty delicious, they're not readily available at Costco.
No.
And if they were at Costco, they'd probably be in the parking lot and they wouldn't be ready for cooking. So I just thought it was really fascinating. He talks about this. There is a talk about this very subject on YouTube. It may be by Michael Eids. And it is fascinating and very, very compelling. And that's why I get back to what I was talking about before, is that it's so obvious when you eat carnivore that that's how you're really supposed to eat.
Well, you even talking about the dental health, I come from a family of tooth snobs. My mom worked in the dental industry. And so, I mean, oral hygiene was a big deal in my household. And I have not been to the dentist for a bit of a time since being on carnivore. They canceled my May appointment
Mm.
and I haven't been back yet. I think I'll get in by the end of the year for a little cleaning, but they canceled it because the doctor was going to be gone. And I was like, just feeling my teeth. I'm like, I don't need a cleaning right now. Like I literally don't need it. And I've noticed that on carnivore that I don't need to personally, hear too much information maybe, but I'm not flossing as often. And I used to floss every day. Now it's a couple times a week. There's just not much there to floss. So point being, why would we have been created or evolved to have dental issues and abscesses and, oh, nope, I've got to brush my teeth with this stick? I mean, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. You would have evolved different dentation.
Yeah. So that's one thing I find interesting. Another thing from this perspective, and again, we're carnivore-ish, so we talk about this. I think about, okay, the general belief right now is that people should be going number 2 several times a day. And that's a good sign of good gut health, is if you're having many movements a day. And can you imagine a whole tribe on the move having to stop 2 or 3 times a day for every person in that tribe?
I try not to, actually.
But yeah, so that has crossed my mind too, is like, oh, wow. When you aren't eliminating as much waste, when the food is this nutritionally available that your body uses it, and it would just make life easier back in the day.
I have nothing to add.
And we just lost half our viewers. These are the things I think about.
Our last a long-form pre-recorded video was about carnivore is the best elimination diet. We weren't talking about that kind of
Not that type of elimination, but it is.
And the best balanced diet. And those who saw the thumbnail tended to click and they tended to watch it. But for some reason, not many people got to see it, didn't get to find out that we had released it. So if you don't know that we have a new video out, you might want to go to our channel and see if you can find it, because it's actually a pretty good discussion about carnivore as an elimination diet compared to other elimination diets, and also how it is an inclusion diet and ultimately a balanced diet, and it's anything but a fad or extreme.
Yep. Yeah. Our videos are released on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Sundays.
Guess who releases them?
Yeah. He's in charge of all that. Sundays and Wednesdays. So.
And then we show up for a random live on Fridays. And that's where you are right now.
Yeah.
Unless you're watching this on replay, in which case, who knows what day it is.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, we may have an answer. And if we don't, we can speculate among the best.
We're really good at that.
As a matter of fact, my mom taught me how to speculate. And I mean, what do you think? She was pretty good at it.
She was very good at it. Yeah. She was a pro. She was one of the best ever.
Let's see. What else is going on? That's it. That's it. That's all I got.
We are getting ready. We're still trying to have our meals earlier in the day. But you're finding that you're hungry at night.
Yeah. Well, I'm hungry when I get up, and then I'm hungry after breakfast, and then I'm hungry before lunch, and then after lunch, dunch. And it's a real problem. And the answer is more fat.
You did eat some butter the other day.
I had to. I ate it
Last
after
night,
2 steaks. I had to eat some butter, and then I was hungry at night, so I buttered up. But the finishing eating by 4-ish has massively improved my sleep.
Wow. Yeah.
We cannot overstate how dramatic that effect has been for me. And I'd actually had a doctor recommend to try to eat closer to bedtime.
Oh, yeah.
And that did not work. But when I am done eating by 4, I reliably get 7.5 to 8 hours.
And again, this is unheard of. Like, and you've tried to supplement science, sleep habit your way to more sleep, like all of those things.
I put the sun directly in my eyeballs in the morning. I've eliminated all blue light in the evenings, and those things, modest effects, but what really has helped is being done eating.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it works that way. There must be some hormonal echo. That's a good phrase.
Yeah.
There's a hormonal echo that happens if I eat later, that happens at 2 or 3 in the morning, that pops me awake and in such a way that I am awake.
I have a question for viewers. Oh, hello, Alan. No salad tonight. If only we could play our song.
Yeah, we don't have it on cue here.
But we don't have our whole system set up here. So, but I have a question for viewers. There have been a lot of hurricanes, obviously, hurricane damage, weather issues going on. And I was listening to one carnivore YouTuber who was impacted by the storms, but not horribly, and said that during the power outage, they ate about 70% carnivore, which seems pretty good. But because the food that you put in your pantry for disasters, there's a name for that.
Stockpile?
That's not what I'm thinking of.
Prepare? Set by?
But anyway.
Stow?
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that carnivore, there's a lot of stuff that they have as a family that is not carnivore, like peanut butter. Peanut butter is a really good thing that you can store forever and have it in your pantry, but not carnivore. So I'm curious, what do you have in your pantries? If you set any food aside for power outages, disasters, what do you have? I know there's canned meat, canned fish, etc. Like, I know that it exists. But we have not done that from a carnivore perspective.
No.
So I'm very curious what you would recommend.
Natalie's saying sardines, which doesn't help JJ. And I know we even ate them last week, which was the killers, the killer kippers.
Killer kippers, yes. I had a molecule of that.
You did have a molecule. Costco has a packaged beef that is good.
Okay.
Crated. Yeah, that's another way of saying it. Is anybody putting by a lot of Spam?
No, but I heard someone talking about don't forget your Spam, because why not? I mean, it's better than that rice. So no Spam here. Nope.
I don't know what's in Spam.
Oh, see, here I go. Remember when we went to Hawaii and they'd have the Spam breakfast?
Yeah.
It was so good. So good.
Was it like Spam and rice?
It was Spam and rice and eggs.
And eggs, yeah.
We came home and ate that for a while.
Yeah.
It was good.
Well, we could do the Spam and eggs.
Yeah,
without
that'd
the rice.
be good. Oh, and maybe, how about this? Spam with scrambled eggs with a over easy egg on top. So you get a little texture with the Spam.
Oh, yeah.
But you also get the goo. That reminds me, I walk back here. Here I go.
I have no idea what she's up to. I hope she's coming back.
I'm coming back.
Oh.
We also got this week. You ordered it.
I did.
He ordered it.
So you'd have.
I'd have it. Courtney Luna's Carnivore in the Kitchen. Have not made a thing yet.
Well, I made the first thing before we even got this, which was the carnivore.
Well,
bread.
that's true. Yeah. Yeah. We made the carnivore bread with pork panko, eggs. That's pretty much butter.
Yeah, and we put the cottage cheese in.
And
it.
the cottage cheese. Yes, that's
So
right.
that was the dairy version. We
Yeah.
did not make the non-dairy version, which seems like it would just be a giant fluffy egg thing. But most of her batters for waffles and tortillas and stuff like that follow the same basic fundamental recipe concept.
Yet someone brought up last live pizza.
Oh, that's right.
So now we have a pizza recipe.
Is that the one that uses the chicken flour?
Well, it uses ground chicken.
Ground chicken.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole thing on how to make chicken flour. I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
And it sounded like a lot of work.
And then there was also another pizza. She's got another pizza recipe.
I think it's a great resource if you have somebody who's thinking of going carnivore or wants to, but they want to be able to have similar things to foods they're familiar with. She does that in this, and also has meal plans, and the whole introductory section really takes you through keto, ketovore, carnivore to get you kind of established in the whole concept of it, and answers the common questions about fiber and fat and stuff like that as it relates to health. So I thought it was a really great kind of beginner intro
Here's
thing. Yeah.
Standard carnivore meal plan. And she's got 3 meals a day on that baby. Dairy-free carnivore meal plan. And even, this one's kind of funny, but I'm glad it's there. People need this reference sometimes. The Lion Diet meal plan.
I could have written that section.
Yeah, you could have. But still. So yeah. So we have the book. I am eager to try a few of the different recipes in there. I do like to cook sometimes, like more than just sear a steak. So I'll be looking at a few of these things, and it'll be good. Fried egg yolks. That's interesting to me too.
Wouldn't that just be making a fried egg without the white?
No, she puts it in panko.
Oh.
She breads it.
I see.
Yeah.
So Natalie says that I make chicken flour. It's time intensive. But what's the texture of it once you have it? Is it a dry powder?
Well, you pulverize it, the crud out of it. You know?
It has to be dehydrated or something. I don't understand how you take a chicken and get a powder out of it.
That reminds me, she also has not muffins. They're oh gosh, you can tell I'm from the north. Biscuits. Because down south, biscuits and gravy type things. Yeah, not so much here. But she has a biscuit recipe with ground chicken in it too that helps it have a little bit of chew, I guess. I'm interested in that.
Yeah, I'm interested in eating most of these things. I'm not interested in making them.
No, but that's fine.
But I did look at it, which is more than I could say about almost any other cookbook.
That's true. That's true. I'm just seeing some of the other suggestions here. Canned chicken. Yep. Yeah.
I've never had canned chicken that I know of.
Oh, yeah, I have. I've actually had canned chicken.
Is it cooked?
It is.
Yeah, it'd have to be cooked.
Yeah, it's canned. Yeah, it's canned and cooked.
It's like canned tuna?
It is exactly like canned tuna, but it's not.
Is that why they call tuna chicken of the sea?
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's canned. It's not canned.
I think they were just trying to compare it to chicken.
Okay.
Like it was a marketing thing, probably. This is like if you're not used to tuna and the idea of tuna scares you, it's just like chicken.
It's the chicken of the sea.
Chicken of the sea. Yeah.
So Natalie says, I cook the chicken, then I shred it and dehydrate it in my oven at 170 degrees. Once dry, I pulverize and sift it to get the finest flour. I use it for my chicken nuggets recipe. Interesting. Presumably, you could just spoon powdered chicken in your mouth too. I don't think that would probably taste very good.
Probably not.
Alan says, I don't have an emergency preparedness meat plan. I would need to get a generator, have sous vide and a grill unless it blew away. My plan would be to leave town if the emergency was hurricane.
Yeah.
And Boyd says, canned chicken is tuna of the sea. Of course.
Of course.
Or is it tuna of the farmyard?
Oh my goodness. But that's good. We should get some of this Costco meat and some canned chicken.
I want you to make some chicken flour and then make it for this meatloaf. I don't really want you to make meatloaf.
I didn't think so.
We both have trauma from childhood meatloafs that were so dry we still haven't recovered from it. There was not enough ketchup in the world for me to get my mom's meatloaf down.
Nope. Let us know if you like meatloaf, because people love it.
It must be able to be good.
Yeah.
It's just we haven't had that experience yet.
We have a barbecue joint near us that has like meatloaf Mondays, right? People do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just PTSD, post-traumatic meatloaf disorder.
Yeah.
PTMD. Oh my goodness. There is a meatloaf recipe in here.
We did by the way, if you're going to buy that on Amazon, she posted to, I don't know if it was X or Instagram, watch out for, what's the word?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Counterfeits.
Oh.
Yes. Counterfeiters have posted this image with a slightly different title, and they're taking your money for something that's not this.
Oh.
So she said, make sure that it has the correct title, which is Carnivore in the Kitchen, a fresh and fun approach to meat-based meals by Courtney Luna. And obviously, it'll probably be the one with the most reviews that are positive. So just keep an eye out, because it would be a shame, both for you and her. To
yeah. That's not cool. Natalie says, my husband loves meatloaf, but when it's cold, it makes him gag.
Yeah. The idea of it. But are you one of the viewers last time who said you like a cold steak? Because I'm not there yet. I'm not there. I'm loving my steaks these days, but cold is not quite, I'm not at the level. You
cooked your steaks on the cast iron yesterday.
Yeah, I did.
I was shocked. I was not, I had lunch with my friend. I'm just going to leave it at that. And you were on your own.
Yep.
And you cooked, you didn't put it in the air fryer, which is the easiest thing. You actually cooked on the cast iron.
It makes a difference. It's not quite as good in the air fryer as it is when it's cooked on the cast iron. And I tried hard to sear it correctly. And we just made a video about like Carnivore 101 where we cooked. I cooked breakfast and JJ cooked steaks. And I filmed her cooking the steak. So I learned how to do it the way she does it, because her steaks always turn out better than mine. And so I did it that way, and it turned out great. And I ate 2 of them in short order.
What was funny with that video too is that we were not hungry at all.
No.
So we were like, okay, we're making this food, but we're not necessarily going to eat it now. And we don't love reheated steak, but I'm going to eat it anyway. And that steak that I made in that was so good.
And it was a little over.
And it was a little over, and it was just a Walmart steak. It wasn't one of these fancy ones. And we ate the whole thing.
Right there on the spot.
Just standing at the counter, we ate the whole thing.
The fat on that one was so delicious.
It was a good steak.
But this farmer's market steak, which was New York strip, and he told us that it was a Devon hybrid breed that he said does really well on grass. The other Devons, he said, weren't quite as good. I guess they're marbling or something. And that steak was unreal in how good that, especially the fat. The fat had that just dive for taste when it's salted.
We actually often stay away from grass-fed beef just because the flavor profile isn't generally as good, but this is incredible.
But we probably should, because the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio with grass-fed is better.
But maybe that's a carnivore skill for some people. Some people, as you move along your carnivore journey, things get a little cleaner, a little better. Your tastes change. Yeah. But this was amazing. Yeah.
I want to eat it immediately.
Yeah, we're not having the fancy steaks today. Fancy.
We're going to save those for a fancier day.
They're still frozen.
Oh, well, that's a good reason not to cook them. Because they're fancy, you want to prepare them right.
On the cast iron.
I mentioned this before, but a year or so ago, somebody posted a picture of some Wagyu ribeye that they had bought. And they said, how should I cook this? And Jordan Peterson responded, freeze it and then throw it in the air fryer at 400 for 15 minutes. And he takes a lot of heat for a lot of different reasons, but I have never seen people excoriate so hard for that. And I'm like, I've done that recipe not with Wagyu, but frozen steaks in the air fryer actually generally do turn out pretty good. Mm-hmm. If you have to remember to salt them though after they thaw a little bit.
Yeah.
And Natalie is confessing, yes, I love cold steak and cold meatloaf. I don't know if that's a confession. It's an admission, or it's just a statement.
I might.
Are you going to try some cold meat?
Next time we have some leftover, maybe I will.
We ate cold fried chicken when I was a kid out of the refrigerator.
Yeah, and I didn't.
I didn't like it, but we did it.
Yeah. For me, I have a hard time with cold meat, but maybe I'm beyond that now. And I've heard it's like eating it's almost like a different meal, a different dish. So maybe next time I'll try that. We did have some ribs that I have to throw away. We didn't quite get through all of them.
Why is that?
Because I didn't get through them all.
No, you didn't bring them out again. No, we had them twice. I know that I had to.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah.
Go at them.
Oh, cold steak with hollandaise. Interesting.
Now, hollandaise is like a creamy sauce with some egg in it or something, or lemon. What is it in hollandaise? I know I've had it on Eggs Benedict in the past. I don't know how to make it.
I think there's a recipe in this.
Oh, of course there would be. Yeah.
Yep. And the fat is different. That's interesting too. I mean, obviously it would be, I guess, but interesting.
Egg, lemon, and butter. Yeah. See, I kind of knew it.
I think you've tried to make it long ago.
Maybe. I don't know. It looks complicated. What does this button do?
Oh, interesting. Alan can eat cold burgers. Yeah, and meat is good, but sometimes I look at it just as fuel. I have my days like that where I can be a little more oriented. And Curtis just said he completed 3 1/3 pound burgers from Costco just today. But yeah, extra burgers for a road trip. I have been craving those carnivore bars.
Really?
Yes.
I have not.
Just the road trip made me think of the carnivore bars that we were sent. And twice I've been like ready to go to play rehearsal and seen them because they were on the counter for a few days and been like,
Well, you're welcome to them.
Yes, we have 2 more, but then I think I'm going to need to buy some and have them on hand. But I will say I want about a half a bar and then I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't eat a whole one.
Yeah.
This cold burger thing is reminding me of when the Twilight movies were being made. The guy who played Jake,
Yes.
Taylor
Taylor.
Lautner, he goes from the first movie to the second movie when he becomes like a full werewolf or something. And then he has to get all buff because he's got to work out. So the actor had to work out. Well, I remember reading an interview with Kristen Stewart, who played Bella, talking about how he was always carrying these little baggies full of cold burger patties because he had to just load constant protein on board to suit his new physique. And I remember going, ugh. But I suppose if I was being paid to be in the movie, I would do it for sure.
Mm-hmm. Natalie says Dr. Sabrina Salt carries her carnivore bars in a glasses case in her purse to keep it from getting squished.
That would work.
Excellent.
Because otherwise
suggestion.
it will get squished.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to pronounce you. I say I am. I'm Haramus. Hello from Russia. You are the funniest carnivores. Good luck to your family. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry if I pronounced your name really stupid, but it's the best I could do. But thank you so much.
Yeah.
Being funny is the number one thing in my life, which is unfortunate for me. Because there's a lot of people way funnier than me. But it's the one thing I value above almost all else.
And when we had our daughter, you were very concerned that she might not be funny.
Well, she wasn't at first. That was the real problem, was that she's 3'4" and she's like, I'm going to tell you a knock joke, and it was never funny. And I'd be like, you have to actually think it through. Of course, she was making up on the spot.
Come on, workshop it, kid. Workshop it.
Think about it a little bit. But she didn't think I was funny.
No.
She had no concept of humor. She thought I was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I've done with my young nephew is I ask him questions that are absurd, but he's very literal. And so he just thinks I'm an idiot, which amuses me no end. Y'all have a dehydrator? Contemplating homemade carnivore bars. Well, that would definitely be the way to do it. The answer is we don't.
No, we don't at this point.
But we keep seeing people who do, and they have the superpower of they can make things that we can't. Although you can dehydrate in an oven.
I did that. Extent. Yes, I did that once.
I mean, Natalie just said so. She did it with the chicken flour.
I did Audra from that meetup we went to.
Oh, those
she made pork chips. Yeah, with pork loin. And I did those in our oven, and it worked pretty well. But you've got to like jimmy the door open a little bit. I mean, there are some little tricks to it because
get it to dry.
It's not ideal. It's not ideal for dehydrating.
I see. So,
yeah,
I honestly don't even know what a dehydrator looks like.
It is.
Does it just have fans
usually this big round. It looks like a big tortilla warmer type thing. Okay. It's like this. Might be this big, and it's round usually, and it's got all these trays that go.
And it must have a fan in it and some heat.
I would guess, yeah.
Natalie says my oven has a keep warm setting, which is 170 degrees. Yeah, our old one had a keep warm. The new one, which is fancier, has fewer. Well, maybe it does through the app that we can't get connected.
Don't get me started.
My recommendation on moderately high-end appliances is GE's Monogram line. Is a mistake.
Oh,
not impressed. Also, don't like LiftMaster garage door openers that when you control it with the app, because when you control it with the app, it thinks that someone might be under the door, that it has to flash the light for 5 seconds and then beep the whole time it's closing.
That's right.
In case it's going to close on somebody, which, for the past 40 years, we dealt with by having sensors that stop them from closing on somebody. This is not a carnivore issue.
No.
This is a sanity issue. Nothing should ever beep that you can't turn off the beep.
And it made our dog very nervous because they have the invisible fence collars, and
they beep when they're warning them they're about to get a little correction.
Yeah, so the poor pups.
I just went on a rant about
you
stuff.
did.
I just couldn't help myself. Haramis says, I have an Australian Ezidri electric dehydrator.
I bet it's like Easy Dry.
Easy Dry.
I bet.
Yeah, Easy Dry makes it great jerky at 75 degrees Celsius, which I will not calculate live.
We saw the shabu shabu.
We did. We saw the shabu shabu at Costco, and I had my shabu shabu experience in Japan. How many? 30 some odd years ago?
Oh, good grief.
And I'm still slightly nauseated from overeating so much shabu shabu. I ate and ate and ate and ate. And I should have stopped, but I couldn't because it was just too fun. But that would be so easy because it's already, sliced. Alan says, no carnivore YouTube channel has more likable hosts than yours.
Aw, thank you, Alan.
Well, that's really sweet. I'm going to credit JJ. And I think it's true because I wouldn't have married you if I didn't like you.
Well, that is true. You definitely would not have married me if you didn't like me.
Now, you might have married me despite not liking me that much.
I don't think that's how it would have gone down.
Your mom wanted you to marry me.
That is true. That is true.
Oh. You keep the shabu shabu refrigerated? Oh, jerky refrigerated because it's what, lower fat or something? Or higher fat? What is that? I don't know how to interpret that.
I think so the fat doesn't go rancid, but you can let us know, Natalie.
Yeah. But now we got to go back to Costco and pick up some shabu shabu meat.
But it's close, and we need a dehydrator, unless we try it in the oven.
Do you think they sell one
there? They might.
They might.
They might.
We saw they have a, what is it, the cold water plunge?
Yeah.
The cold plunge. It's like an inflatable bathtub. And but it doesn't take ice, right? It had a chiller.
It does, yeah. It was $200.
It was really $200?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we left without it. Except for I'm not really excited about the cold plunge. I've done Wim Hof breathing. I did his first online
a long
course,
time ago.
And part of it was slowly doing colder showers for longer. And I did the 10-minute as cold as the shower goes thing. And what the problem I would have is that in the middle of the night, my internal thermometer got so screwed up by it that I would have night sweats. And I hated that. So I stopped doing cold showers.
But you had a song you'd sing. Well,
yes,
a lyric, not a song.
It wasn't a song is selling it a lot harder than it deserves. And because I had read the Tim Ferriss book, For Our Body, about putting ice packs on your back, supposedly you have this brown fat on the back that when it's exposed to cold, you get more of an activation and maybe more calorie burn or something. And so I would just kind of sing myself through brown fat activation over and over again to kind of remind myself why I was torturing myself with a cold shower. But it is definitely something that I have gone back to occasionally, but it's tough.
I did cryotherapy for a while, and it was in an effort because a lot of my metabolic issues have been hormone issues, and that's, supposed to be good for your hormones. Mm-hmm. So I did it quite a bit for a while, for a good year or so, but I didn't, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't notice any benefits from that. But then you told me cryotherapy is like cheating.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Um,
It's not a cold plunge.
Did I say it in a way that to discourage you from doing it, or did I just say it because it wasn't as hard as doing
That's
water?
why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did this cold therapy too.
Yeah.
In the cryo chamber. It's like a 3-minute thing you spin around and they blast you with cold air.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really derived any benefit from it.
Yeah. Like I said, I liked it, but I didn't notice, even though I tried for quite a while.
Well, I wonder what the evolutionary source of the benefit is of getting that cold exposure and the shock to the system, because it releases all kinds of endorphins.
That's what I was after.
And it does. A really long cold shower for me did make me feel like, oh, wow, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling up. And it lasts for a while. But I have only ever done the bathtub ice thing once, and I only got halfway in. So I needed to just do it.
You know what helps with my endorphins and my mood and my hormones?
Me?
Eating. You and eating meat. But we had a long history before eating meat that it wasn't quite enough, I guess. You weren't quite enough.
Even I could not overcome her bad diet. It's the seed oils. You can't win.
Oh.
No man can beat the seed oils if his woman is inundated with them.
And man, was I.
Let's see.
We have this brook that runs. It's actually a drainage ditch. Or what is? I mean, it is spring fed, but then the farm here before us, made it into like irrigation.
They created a ditch to direct it.
Yeah, that's what they did.
And drain the fields and stuff.
But it is spring fed and it is cold water, and our dog does jump in it.
He loves it
all the time.
He's into his cryotherapy.
Yeah.
And every day.
It's not big enough for us to really submerge in. It's not deep enough or large enough, but I'll stick my feet in it sometimes.
Yeah, but I would also be a little concerned of the farm field runoff.
That's true.
Because it's probably just a giant pool of glyphosate that he's jumping on. I wouldn't probably want to get too far into it.
That is true. Boyd, I mentioned that one.
Haramus, just with pemmican fat. Oh, the dehydrator.
Yeah, and the making of the Carnivore Bars. Yeah.
Natalie lives in Arizona, and I'm a wuss about cold. Cold plunge for me is exercising in the pool at 88 degrees. Holy cow, that's warm water.
It is fascinating, though, because in Wisconsin, we get some pretty good extremes as far as temperature goes. And it's just amazing how the body adapts. And when we've been through winter and it's, February, March, and we have a day that's like 32 degrees, we're out there and jackets off and it's like, oh, it's so warm. But then in the fall, when it gets down to 32, we're freezing to death.
Yeah. One of my readers emailed me pretty frequently. It was always talking about the weather in Phoenix where they lived. And she wanted it to be 100 degrees. She didn't like it when it was down low 80s. It was too cold. And I could never understand that.
Mm-mm.
But you adapt.
Yeah.
You read this one. That Boyd's not touching that one. Ellen, I've been doing super cold showers daily since May. Now I look forward to it. See, I just sort of stuck with it longer, and then I would have maybe gotten to where I liked it. I read that Frank Sinatra took cold showers.
Really?
Huh. And I want to say one of his contemporary, but it was a woman movie star, did the same thing. I can't remember who it was, and I don't want to say a name because if I'm wrong, then I'll be wrong on the internet.
Oh, don't be.
Oh, like that's never happened before. I'm hungry, JJ.
It's
It's about time for dunch.
It is time for lunch. Yeah.
Because it doesn't just go from being raw to being cooked
No.
like that, like it does with YouTube magic.
And this is what's for lunch today.
But
Right.
not this one.
Not this one. It's the Walmart steaks today.
New York strips
Yep.
in American parlance.
Yep.
Porterhouse in Australian.
But it's been coming up to temperature and ready to go.
We've enjoyed chatting with you guys. We will have a new video out for you on Sunday. No idea what the topic's going to be. So if you've got an idea, put it in the comments.
We've got one in the works, but that's going to be Wednesday.
Yeah, it's not ready. Yeah, that one will be later.
Hmm.
And I do encourage you to go back and find Wednesday's video, because it's actually really good discussion. And YouTube doesn't want you to hear it because maybe they think there's another carnivore video that's more interesting. I can't imagine it. So
I love that 8 S's, Alan. Interesting. Strength training, sprinting, sunbathing, sauna, shower, cold
sex, steak and sleep.
Nice.
The comma is important there. So
thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a delight. Bye-bye.
How do you end this thing?
End stream.
Yeah, you do that. That's what I'm going to do.
And then end.
Yep, that's how I'm going to press it.
Okay, you were on the not yet. You got to press the end.
Press it.
Okay, go.